Hello, everyone. Wednesday, August.
So Cheryl, I think we're losing you. Cheryl's frozen on my screen. Is anybody else seeing her?
Frozen on mine too.
Yep.
Oh, okay. So the fallback was Cheryl was going to stand on top of a mountain and have her husband hold the phone so that she can get cell signal. But
well, that's a good plan B.
yeah.
Okay, so we'll wait a couple of minutes.
Yeah,
I'm gonna log off. I'm gonna go downstairs here.
Okay. I'll pause the recording at this point.
Okay, hopefully we're good now. Can everyone hear and see me now? That's the big question.
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go through Embrace the Tiger, but then we're going to go over a couple of the details within the movement, including the name of the movement today. So let's start and prepare. I'm going to face the opposite direction so that we move in the same direction here. We're going to start with the feet shoulders width apart, sinking down into the legs, relaxing the waist, crossing the arms, right arm on the outside, head lifting up, waist relaxed. We're going to move the weight to the right, turning the left foot almost the straight direction. Separate the arms, one circling down and up, stepping out and moving like brush knee, right palm towards by the knee, left palm out in front. All right, let's do it one more time, and then I'm just going to walk you through it so that I can watch, and we'll just discuss details, those details. So feet shoulders distance apart, toes pointed straight, sinking down into the legs, crossing the arms, right arm on the outside, head lifting up, waist relaxed. Move the weight to the right, turning the left foot, arms not changing. Right arm moves up as the left pulls down. Circle the arms, looking back at the left palm. Open up and show striking. Great. So let's do it one more time, and I'm going to watch who's on video, and then we'll talk through the details. So feet shoulders distance apart, toes pointed straight, sinking down in the legs, crossing the arms, right arm on the outside. Shifting the weight to the right, turning the left toes, arms don't change, then open up, separate the arms, one circling down, one circling up, open with the right arm, striking with the left palm. Oh, that looks really great, everyone. So let's talk through some of the details here. I have this great grid on the floor to use, so when we were talking about the foot direction, this one's going to be really helpful. So if you'll notice here, I have a straight line in between my legs. My feet are perpendicular to that. So when we do the foot movements, we're talking about not totally straight. So we move to the right, and our foot turns. So if you look at my left foot, you can see that it's not totally to straight, but it's almost to straight. And then when we step out, we're stepping what's not quite to corner. So if I was in the grid perfectly to corner, I'd have one foot on the line and one foot at the corner of these two lines, but we're gonna be slightly off. So can you see my feet directions here? Does this help in terms of the footwork? Okay, great. All right, so let's just do the footwork together one time, and then we'll go through a little bit more with the arms. So feet straight, sinking down, shift to the right, turning the foot almost to straight. Sink back, draw in first, and then step out. Less than corner direction, moving the weight forward. Nice. All right, so does anyone know why we draw the foot in first and then step out to that less than corner direction? Okay, let's get the answer. So this movement, it does look like brush knee in terms of the movement itself, but there's a different meaning here. It's called Embrace the Tiger, Return to the Mountain. So when we do this movement, we step out because we're going to imagine our opponent's here in this space, and we're going to step behind them. So our opponent would be here, and we would embrace and actually throw them over our legs. So when we step, there's an opponent here, we pull in and go behind them. And then we take them over our leg. Does that make sense? Okay, good, because I wanted to clarify that. What do you got, Marion?
Really quick question. When you say almost to corner to step out, do you mean on the inside or the outside of the corner?
On the inside. So,
okay.
So if this is straight and this is our corner, right? We're going to be inside that corner.
Okay.
We're not moving towards this straight, but moving to this direction.
Thank you.
Inside towards our left foot. Okay. All right, and I just want to talk about the arms real quick because there's one little detail I didn't specifically point out, but it is very important here. So we know that we cross our arms, and the right arm comes up like that windshield wiper, left arm comes down. When we circle and our right palm comes down, we want to make sure that our fingertips are pointing towards the left forearm center. I did discuss that we wanted to have that round shape. We didn't want to have too bent, but we still want to be round and have those fingertips pointing towards the left forearm direction. That looks great, everyone. So remember to keep that space in your arms. Don't let the armpits collapse here. We want to have all of the joints opening just a little bit. So we don't want them collapsed, opening up, but fingertips still pointing towards the left forearm. Nice. Everyone I can see practicing looks great. So let's do that movement one more time, and then we'll move into roll back, press, and push from that movement. So starting at cross hands, sinking down, move the weight to the right, turning the waist, left foot follows almost to straight, open up the arms, circle the arms, stepping out, looking at the left palm before we follow the right arm and show striking. Nice job. How does everyone feel? Do we feel like we can move on from this? All right. So the great part about the next few movements are that we don't have to move our feet very much. So what we can focus on is the rooting in the footwork and how we transfer weight back and forth between our right and left leg. So what's very important to do when we're in this stance is that we're in a bow stance and we're transferring weight from one leg to the other. So when we push, we want to push out of our leg, but we don't just want to push and just move forward. Because if we were doing these movements fast, if we were really pushing, we would fly forward off of our footwork. So how do we stop that from happening? We need to push with our front leg. So when we're pushing off of our rear leg, we're going to push a little bit back with that front leg and receive that weight until it locks in, until the knee reaches over the ankle and it locks in. So everyone try this. Mess around with your footwork. Feel what it feels like when you just kind of move forward, because if you just move forward, some people have a tendency to come up and down, but we really want to keep that waist at the same level and really push off the back leg, but have a little bit of resistance from the front leg, almost like two magnets. How if you put two magnets against each other and they won't actually touch, there's that force between them. That's what we're creating with our legs here. So through these next couple of movements, really try to focus on that because we aren't changing our stance. So if we can bring that into these movements, then it will transfer throughout the rest of the form. So let's talk about the arms. So we're moving from embrace the tiger into roll back. So the first thing that we do is the right arm comes up in front of the shoulder and the left palm turns facing up. And I'm just going to do the arm movements here, okay? After that, we're going to connect out with the forearm, and the left arm pulls back. And then we just do a waist turning, and the arms don't change very much. So let's just talk about the right arm. It's by our knee, it's sitting down, it's not locked out, it's not too bent, just lightly like sitting on a table almost, like you put your palm on a table. It's gonna come up in front of the shoulder and then press out, connecting with the forearm here. Okay, so by the knee, which will be your thigh if you're just standing here, draw up in front of the shoulder and connect out. And then we're just gonna turn. Okay, that looks good. So now the left palm. So the left arm sitting up in a striking position. We're gonna rotate that arm so that the palm's facing up. We're gonna pull back slightly, and then it's gonna be that turning movement again, turning from the waist. Good. It's nice to see everyone working on this. So let's put it together. So just the arm movements. So left palm's out in front, right palm's just sitting. Left palm rotates, right palm comes up in front of the shoulder. One comes out, one moves back. So left fingertips point to the right forearm center here. And then we just do a small turning movement at the end. So this Tai Chi is a martial art, right? And maybe we're not practicing it as a martial art, but knowing the meaning of the movements can actually improve the alignment within our body and help us receive those health benefits that we get from practicing, okay? So here, we can imagine maybe that someone's grabbing our left arm. So we're gonna connect out and then turn and show breaking. So you have grabbed someone's wrist. When we do this turning movement, it's actually showing grabbing. So we're gonna turn and show grabbing, despite that we don't close our hand, connect out to your opponent's elbow, and then turn and show what is considered breaking. So left palm out, right palm down, turn, rotate, right palm in front of shoulder, connect out, and turn. That looks great. Okay, so this is the awesome part about this movement, is we've learned the arms and our footwork doesn't change, so now we can just focus on that movement in the legs and timing with the arms. So let's go into our stance here. Always remember to sink down into your one leg and step out naturally. We don't just want to set up in a stance that maybe is too long for us, because when we move back and forth, we're not going to be able to show empty and full, one of the principles of practice here. So maybe take a look at your stance. Make sure that you have a nice, comfortable stance for yourself. Set up our arms, left palm out, shoulder height, right palm sitting relatively close to the knee. We're gonna move back the weight. We're gonna rotate the left palm, right palm comes in front of the shoulder. We're gonna connect out, all the weight is moving back, and then a slight turn, almost to the straight direction. So again, left fingertips to right forearm, just like roll back. All right, let's do it again. Great part, we don't have to change our footwork. Left palm out, right palm by the knee. Move the weight back, we're about at halfway when our right palm is in front of our shoulder and our left palm is facing up. Connect out, weight's almost all the way back, and then just a tiny little bit left as we turn. All right, let's see everyone do it. I'll walk you through it. Starting at embrace the tiger, right palm by the knee, left palm's out in front. All right, we're gonna shift a little bit of weight back, right arm comes up, palm in front of the shoulder, left palm rotates, connect out, and turn. That looks good. All right, so one thing I want to talk about here is we don't want to lose the space in our arms. So when we come up and out, we want to talk about the right arm first. So we want we don't want to have too much space, but we don't want to be collapsed here. We want to have space in the arm. So first, when we come back, make sure we have space here in this arm. And then when we connect out, make sure that we have space in our left arm, that our arm isn't collapsed here either, that we have that round frame. Nice. That looks better. So every time, remember that we're in that large frame. So we don't want to collapse. We don't want to close off the energy here. Okay? Nice. All right, good practice, everyone. So let's start at cross hands, and let's move through these two movements. And maybe we'll add press and push in as well. So feet, shoulders distance, cross hands. Shifting the weight, turning. Separate the arms, circle, looking at the left palm, open up, and show striking. Now for roll back, moving back, left palm rotates, right arm in front of the shoulder, connect out, and turn. Good, all right. Does anyone have any questions about those two? I'll take that as a no. All right, let's do it one more time and add in press and push. Cross hands. Feet are straight, head lifting up. Move the weight to the right, turning almost to the straight direction. Separate the arms as we shift back. Circle the arms, stepping out. Open up with the right, showing striking with the left. Moving back, left palm circles, right hand in front of the shoulder. Connect out as you move the weight back and turning from the waist. Moving into press, circle the right arm in. Left palm to right forearm center, pressing out. Open up the arms, palms are facing down, and then we pull back. Palms sit up in front of the chest, pushing out. Palms ending at shoulder height here. Okay. I'm gonna walk you through it. I'll do the arm movements as I talk you through it, but I'd like to see what everyone is doing. So let's start at cross hands. Right arm on the outside. Remember to have that rounded back here. You see the space here? We don't want to have it too collapsed or the elbows too pointed down. Nice rounded position. All right, moving the weight to the right, turning to the left, or turning to the right, left foot turning, separate the arms, open up, one down, one up, then changing. Remember here, not relax a little bit, then open up and show striking. Roll back, left palm rotates, right hand comes in front of the shoulder, connecting out. Left fingertips point to the right forearm center and turning when our weight is back. Press, circle in the arm. The right arm has to circle, little circle, left palm touches the forearm, pressing out. As we move forward, everything arrives together. From here, turning the waist to straight, open up the arms, palms face down, moving back, draw the palms back, sitting them up at the last moment, and then press, pushing out. Palms end at shoulder height. That looks good. Cheryl's ready to do it again. So does anyone have any questions? Are there any little details you'd like to work on within these movements? We're so silent. We're masters. I love it. All right, let's do it again. Practice is what helps us with this. Now, what you focus on this time is I'm going to go a little bit slower, and I'm going to give you all the details as we move, but I don't want you to look at the screen. It's very easy to use the people around you in a class as a crutch so you know what's coming next, or here in Zoom with the screen. But the point is we want to learn the form on our own so we can go practice. So the great way to do that is kind of test your memory and just try to do the movements. If you forget, then look back for a moment or try to use my voice as a cue here to keep moving forward, okay? So let's move into cross hands. And again, we're going to move that little bit slower. So feet are shoulders width apart, arms are crossed, right arm on the outside. So let's hit those kind of what Nancy calls Kodak moments. We're going to move to the right, turning the whole body, left foot turns almost to straight. Separate the arms, right arm comes up, left arm pulls down. Circle the left arm down and then up, right arm comes down, stepping out. Fingertips point to the left forearm. Head is looking towards the left palm. Then we're gonna look towards the right arm following, and then one coming out, one coming back and down till the right palm's in front of the knee, the left palm's out in front. Moving back the weight, we're gonna rotate that left arm, right arm comes up in front, so the right palm's at shoulder level. Connect out. So right palm pushes out, left palm pulls back, and then turning at the very end. We're gonna circle that right arm in, left palm touches right forearm center, and we're kind of close into the body here until we press out, everything arriving together. Open up the arms, pulling back, and then sitting up the palms at the last moment. Now here, really focus on the legs. Push off with that left leg and receive the weight in the right leg. Focus on the palms being relaxed, arms relaxed, head lifting up. This is one of those great movements that we can really work on the legs here. Good. How does that feel, everyone? Love. Thumbs up from everyone? All right.
Question.
Sure, Kathy.
Looking direction as you do roll back, that has always bugged me.
Okay, let's talk about it. So when we are in Embrace the Tiger, we're looking to that corner-ish direction, right? When we shift the weight back, we're still going to be looking this direction because our opponent is this direction while we connect out. And then we'll just follow the arms in terms of looking direction here. So we're looking to that corner-ish direction, connecting out. Our opponent's still here, so we're rotating and grabbing, connecting out to our opponent who is the same corner direction, and turn and follow just that little bit off the corner here. So we're not totally to straight, a little bit off. And then as we come in for press, we come back to that corner-ish direction, and we just stay that direction through press and push. We're looking
so we're not looking downish at all. When we do roll back, we're continuing to look, we're not, see, are we following the hands as they come back? We're looking beyond and down, or we're still looking at the horizon?
So we're gonna look basically at the horizon level. When we talk about the direction here, I'm talking about looking towards your palm, but I'm not actually looking down at my palm. I'm looking straight ahead. We want our head gently lifted, right? So if we look down at our palm, our head's gonna tilt down.
Well, not
right?
down, but I was told, and I think it's incorrect, to look between the horizon and your palm. So somebody's right here as opposed to looking out there. But, okay, I do need clarification on that. So
I think I might have to clarify with Nancy on that one, actually, because I spent a lot of time when I was first learning looking at my palms. You know, you want to look at your body to make sure that it's in the right position. But that is not correct. Okay, what you want to do is look out, because if you're in a martial arts perspective of this, you're going to have to look at where your opponent is, right? You're not going to be looking at where your arms are. You're going to be looking at where they are, and then you're going to connect to them. Through the martial arts, the first thing is connect, then we stick, adhere, and follow. This is what we come in with push hands. These are the basics. So the first thing that we do is we connect to that person so that we know through connection what that person is going to do. If I'm not connected to that person, I have no idea what direction they're going to go. But once I have that connection, then I can follow them. So it's the same thing here with the roll back. I'm going to connect to them first here, and then if they move, I can follow that movement, right? So that's a big thing. We don't want to look at our palms because we're going to rely on that sense of touch.
Great.
And I will talk to Nancy and get the exact thing, if it is at the horizon or if it is in between, like you were saying, because that does make sense in many ways.
Yeah, I would love to know the answer. I'm sure it's incorrect what I was told, but once something gets imprinted and I have that habit, it's very hard for me to kind of look there. I want to look there. So thank you.
You're welcome, and good question. Does anyone else have a question? I love seeing everyone practice while we wait. This is great. All right, so let's practice a couple of more times, because what I'd like to do is just focus on these movements for today, and then next week we'll move into fist under elbow, because that's a pretty big movement, so I don't want to kind of try to smash it into a small time frame. I want to spend the whole class working on it, okay? So let's go back into cross hands. Again, I'm using those lines here so that you can see the foot direction. Feet are totally straight, arms are crossed, right arm on the outside, head lifting up. Shift the weight to the right, turning. Left foot almost as straight. Separate the arms, circle the arms, looking back towards the left palm, stepping out. Open up, looking direction follows the right arm, striking with the left palm. Moving into roll back. Left arm rotates, right palm in front of the shoulder, connecting out as we move back and turning with the waist. Circle the right arm in, left palm touches the right forearm center, pressing a little bit up and out. Still relaxing the shoulders here, having that space in the left arm. Open up the palms. Hands are shoulders width apart, moving back the weight. Hands are flat until they sit up at the end. And then practice that, what's called dung and chung. It's receiving that weight. So pushing with the left leg, but pushing back ever so slightly with the right. Okay.
I can't believe I have another question. You're going to kick me out.
I love these questions.
Sorry. But when you do roll back, the left hand, does it circle and come to the right forearm, or what's happening with that movement?
Okay, so from roll back to press. So the right palm is kind of sitting up because we're using the forearm here. It needs to rotate, so we're going to circle out a little bit until the palm comes in. So it's just a small circle in. So we're not just going to turn it, right? Can you see the difference from we're here and then we're just turning it?
Yep.
Everything moves in circles. So a little circle out and then in till it sits up in front, okay? So the left palm is just going to rotate and sit up and touch.
So do that slowly with the left, if you will.
Yep, so we're here, left fingertips are pointing to the right forearm center. We're gonna turn, circle, and touch.
So you're not actually picking the left up and circling it.
No, No, there's not an up to down movement here. It's the right palm that circles in.
Okay.
So right palm circles in, left arm is rotated up here, and then we need to turn it to sitting and just connect to the palm.
So it's just
forearm side.
okay. It's not.
It's just rotating, yep.
Okay.
So we're here, let's see, maybe this angle is good. So we're here, roll back, turning in and touch. So there is a little bit of movement where it comes towards the right, maybe a little bit, but it's not a up to down movement. It's just a rotating and touching the palm or to the forearm.
So it's subtle. Okay.
So Cheryl.
Subtle movement. Yes.
Cheryl, this Marianne, that circular movement, it's hard to distinguish it, your hand from your arm, like being part of that circle. Are they kind of, once the hand starts to move, is it the arm that's part of the circle then?
Yes, just how you just did it.
Okay.
That was it. So so the palm and everything is rotating, but everything's connected, right?
Right.
So we're going to turn the palm as we come and circle in. And then we want to make sure here that we end up with the hand and fingers in one line with the forearm. So we don't want it cocked one way or the other. See how, if you look at my fingertips, they're kind of pointing right towards you and you can't see the rest of my arm?
Right.
But then if my hand is turned, you can see the arm there.
Right.
That's because we want everything in one line. So when we're here, it's a little circle and sitting. So palm is sitting up. We're going to turn and rotate and circle in.
Okay.
So palms faced up a little bit. It's not facing towards me. The palm actually is facing up ever so slightly here.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
That looked great.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Anyone else? All right, let's practice again. Practice is the key. The more we practice, the easier it is to do it on our own. All right, cross hands. Embrace the tiger, return to the mountain. Shifting the weight, open up the arms, looking towards the left arm, stepping out. Looking follows the right palm until we're at the corner direction. Roll back, shifting the weight back, and then following the looking direction with the body turn a little bit. Circle the right arm, left palm to right forearm center, pressing out. Everything arrives together. Open up the arms, move back the weight, palms sitting up at the end, pushing out. Hands end up at shoulder height. All right, great job. Any other questions? I love seeing thumbs up. You guys are doing great. All right, let's
A question.
Sure.
What are your hips doing? Are they in line with your back foot?
Let's talk about that, all right? So we'll talk about it throughout all of these movements. So we're in embrace the tiger. Our shoulders are facing more to this corner direction. Like when I say corner direction, it's less than corner direction. But if our hips were turned to that direction, I'll face you guys. If our hips were turned all the way, it would cause a misalignment with our knee and it would kind of fold in. I don't know if you can see that with the black pants and the black carpet here. But we want to make sure that our quads open and that our knees follow this direction, okay? So the hips are turned a little bit off to the side compared to our shoulders, which are to that less than corner direction. As we move back, there's not very much change in the hips here until we turn a little bit more with the end of roll back. As we turn back to that straight direction, there is a little bit of hip movement back towards that corner, less than corner direction. Then they don't change as we press forward. Here, it's all waist turning as we open up for push. and then not very much changing as we come back and then forward. Does that help, Steve?
So you kind of just open your hips as you go. I mean,
Which
you
movement?
always want your hips going in the direction of your back foot, correct?
Pretty much, yes. Because
we were opening up our hips more to face that direction.
play around with it in your stance work this week and feel the difference when we close the hips and the hips are pointed to the straight direction when our foot is to the straight direction, right? Our front foot is straight, our hips are straight. Feel how that takes and turns your back leg in. Then let the legs open up that little bit, not too much. We don't want to turn too much because then our leg's going to come out the other direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
The one time our hips are really open is in single whip or fan through the back. But the difference being there, our body is straight up and down. We're not leaning to one direction, so we can open up the hips more. The challenge there being keeping the front leg in line, not letting it collapse in, opening it up, okay? So when we're here, we don't want to close too much and feel that pinching in with the back leg. We want to have it open a little bit, even though our shoulders may be square to this direction.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, anyone else? All right, let's do it one more time before we close class. And then next week, we'll work on fist under elbow. All right, so starting in cross hands. Check our footwork, make sure we're shoulders distance. Arms crossed, right arm on the outside, head lifting up. Move the weight to the right, turning that left foot. Separate the arms, circling and stepping out. Open up, looking to that less than corner direction while we show striking. Roll back, rotating, right palm in front of the shoulder before we connect out and turn. Circling the right arm in for press and pressing out. Open up the palms, shoulders width apart, moving back the weight. Really focus on the legs, pushing out. Good. Great work today, everyone. It's always good to practice these movements. These are throughout the entire form, and they really give us opportunities to work on all the principles. So this week we have Pierre doing a practice on Fridays at 11 o'clock to practice these movements that we've been working on these past 2 weeks. And then we also have Judy on Saturdays, and I believe it's 10:30 that she does section 2. Mm-hmm. And she will review these movements as well. So thank you for joining me today, and practice our footwork this week and maybe focus on a principle. The 10 principles of practice are listed on the Young Family website as well as the Seattle Center's page, and really work on the principles through these movements. Maybe focus on head lifting up or relaxing the shoulders down or relaxing the waist, and these things then will translate through the rest of your form. All right, great class, everyone. Thank you for joining me, and have a great week.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl. Sorry I interrupted.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Great class.
Great class.